But no, before we leave them, this came first before Vacaville, when we moved to Vacaville.
Yeah, that's
Because
true.
the lot was already bought. And then, and your dad, I think originally he wanted to just build a commercial building, and then he was gonna have it rented out. And then, but I thought about opening the store. I told him that we should try opening,
Yeah. So
a Filipino grocery store.
okay, let's get into that then. So initially, a lot of people don't know that when we started Sassoon Seafood Center, it wasn't well when you and Dad decided to buy the land and build the building that is Sassoon Seafood Center. It was just to be rented out, not
Yeah.
to be ran by our family.
No, because we didn't know any better.
So what changed your mind to just actually being the owner and operator compared to just renting it out? What pushed you over the edge to do that?
So it was actually my idea to, well, he wanted a building, and well, in I thought that it's a much needed store, because I used to, how like we used to live in Vacaville. Well, which one? Store first or Vacaville first?
So what was that conversation like between you and Dad when you really decided, okay, we're gonna do it ourselves?
Well, what's the conversation? I told him, like, if we try, it's like, because I used to, well, we still are going to Seafood City up to this time, even we have our own, because I, I always think that Filipinos we like to explore, especially with food. Like, even though we have our own grocery store or restaurants over here, you get tired of the same thing. But anyway, why am I going through that? But what really drove me to think about opening the seafood center is when I used to really want to open a restaurant I think it was even when we were stationed in Field. I wanted a restaurant, but yeah, of course we can't afford it. We
So
didn't have money, so I said it
what?
was perfect too.
And was there resistance from Dad, or he was pretty much like, okay, yeah, I think we can do this as well?
No, he did not, because he already knew before he had the idea of building the commercial building. He already know that I wanted to
Oh, okay.
have a restaurant, and actually before that happened, we were already looking for a space to to initially think about opening
Gotcha.
a restaurant. So
Is it safe to say that you and Dad put so much like effort and there were so many things that went wrong to building the lot and the building that there was almost a feeling that like no one else can do a better job than you and Dad? Is it safe to say that? Was that one of the reasons why?
no, not no,
No?
one else could do a better job. No, it was just something for me that I thought I could contribute to something for
Yeah.
Filipinos people, at least. I was thinking
Oh, I see.
it's like my thought was, but really this is my thought, that at least you need one small thing, like you just need soy sauce or whatever, fish, or you have to go to seafood city.
Yeah.
But now, if you're from Vacaville or you don't have to go all the way. You just stop by and just get what you need, or just get a Soweto powder. You don't have to.
I gotta
I
take
forgot.
this real quick.
Yeah, me too.
Hey, what's up, Miguel?
Yeah, Rick.
Hey.
So I guess the electrician fixed your fan upstairs.
Yeah, dude, he was
Right.
real fast about that.
Yeah. So let's. We had said what, Wednesday or Thursday?
Yeah.
Okay, so Thursday morning,
Okay, no problem.
right? I guess should I stop for the key today?
Yeah, you
or-
can go today or anytime in between. Just I'll let my guys know. We close at 7:30, just so you know.
What time you start in the kitchen?
Hello.
My first guy's there at 10 a.m. to 7:30. So that's your opportunity.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, Miguel, appreciate you. Thank you, man.
Which one?
bye.
Which one is that? 1/4. Yeah, a choice.
What was you make me think. We opened up the store in 2007, and 15 years later, have you felt a change in the Filipino community compared to back then to now? Because personally, I feel like we've had a bird's eye view of how this community in Solano County has almost just blew up.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy?
Yeah, I never really thought about that. My thought was just really like a service, like a place where Filipinos could go to without driving that long, like
Yeah.
30 minutes all the way to Vallejo, and something that
So for you,
everybody
for you and
could
Dad,
call your own.
it wasn't really about. I mean, of course, it was about running a successful business, but the roots of you doing this was really to provide for the Filipino or for the community,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, that my thought. Well, for your dad was different because,
He's a businessman.
yeah. And for me is to really open a restaurant because, my side of the family, that's our experience. That's what I had. Although, your grandma and grandpa were the one who opened it, and then my family. Well, if you didn't know, yeah, your grandma opened a restaurant in Guam with my cousins in there too.
Okay, let's dive into that. Let's trace back to the entrepreneurial spirit of our family, specifically on your side.
Oh my God.
What are your earliest memories of grandma or grandpa
Oh,
being
my
independent
goodness. Yes.
on their own?
Your grandma is always very, very independent, even up to this time. She keep on insisting she's providing for herself. But it just didn't dawn on me that really I have it in me that I still haven't really accepted it, that it's in our family, because as far as I could remember, your grandma was already wheeling and dealing
Yeah.
since we were. Well, actually, not me. Just herself, because she said that she was only 5 or 6 years old. She was already selling anything like fruits, vegetables, and she'll walk far and everything just to make money, to make ends meet. So when she got married and already have kids, even though your grandpa was already in Guam at that time, she still have to contribute to the family. So she still didn't stop selling whatever.
So grandma would just be entrepreneurial before that was even a word.
Yes.
She just knew she had to make ends meet.
Exactly.
So she
yes.
would just take it and capitalize on what she could sell
Yes.
to the best of her means.
Yes.
Because
So-
grandma What her education got to what
Yeah,
level?
she was only in the fourth grade. She could write her name and she could read Tagalog, but not English.
It's kind of amazing to think what she has done with a fourth grade level. And
Yes.
why grandma stopped school because of.
Her mother got hurt. She broke her hips
Oh wow.
and she was in bed for like a year or so because
Oh wow.
yeah, at that time, so nobody,
Do you
because
know
they were farmers, and then like
she just fell? She took a bad fall
I
or
I
something?
I, I forgot, I think, yeah, and then she said she has to work, or
Wow.
yeah, like they don't have any food or whatever,
Was
so she
grandma
has
the
to.
oldest?
No, she's not. She another guy older than
So
her.
was it the case for all of her
She's
siblings
the
that
second.
they all had to drop out of school, or was it just grandma?
No, actually, I'm not sure about their oldest because he passed away early. And then she's the second, and then the third uncle who just passed away like last year. He was, I think he went to high school, then he's a mechanic. Oh, he's the
I remember.
Volkswagen
Yeah. So
mechanic. Yeah.
so grandma got to about fourth grade, and then from there she just started working. So we're talking
Yeah,
about
she never.
after how when you're in fourth grade, you're like 7,
God, no.
6.
Fourth grade, it's
I forgot. I don't remember, but basically she's been working since she was a kid.
11. Yeah, that's what she always
That's crazy.
tells me. Like,
So do you
even
think that-
she was pregnant with me? She said she's like, her belly's so big and she still had to plant rice, like,
Yeah.
bending, and
Oh, so grandma was working in the rice fields when she was
yeah,
pregnant with you?
Yeah. Wow. She was planting rice.
Were you born in a rice field, Mom?
No, I was born in my grandma's house. Grabe ka naman.
I was just kidding.
Grabe.
Ang grabe. Ang grabe ko. Diba?
Grabe ka talaga.
Siyempre.
Yun ang ginagawa mo sa nanay mo.
So, do you think just by default that entrepreneurial spirit just comes in standard for our family, huh?
Well, actually, I'm not sure about that. It just, because it was hard for me.
Because I don't mean to interrupt, but I remember, because now we'll take it back to my childhood. When I was a kid, I don't remember a time when you weren't selling food. Remember when we were on base?
Yeah.
I remember you were always
Yeah,
making
you're
pandesal.
right,
You were
yeah.
always making empanada. You were making,
kuchinta,
what do you call the
puto.
one with the cheese? Yeah, you were making everything.
Yeah,
And I
and
remember there would just be these random strangers coming to the house.
yes,
And you'd be
because-
selling.
Yeah, because they pick it up, I make them, and they sell.
So
Ched.
where do you think that came from?
From grandma.
Yeah,
From
exactly.
your grandma. So that's the thing. I'm thinking back. It's, yeah, I didn't realize that. I didn't realize that it's in the genes.
Almost, yeah, it makes sense. And
Yeah, and then even, you know how like I just do everything at
Yeah.
the store. Like I bake, I cook, clean. I could gut anything. I could slaughter a pig if I
Yeah.
have to. It was like I was groomed for it without me knowing. I just realized that because growing up, when I was growing up in the Philippines, I did everything. Like, whatever. I got the fish, I cleaned the fish, I clean.
did you have a choice on that, or
No,
you
I
just
don't.
had to do it? You were the oldest,
My
right?
siblings, all of us were supposed to do it. Your grandma is a slave driver.
Yeah.
It's a joke.
Yeah, I know. I get it.
But like,
It's a different time back then.
yeah,
A
no,
very different
but,
time.
No, but the thing is, I couldn't have appreciated it more, her, when we opened the store.
Oh, yes.
It
yes.
just,
Everything clicked.
yeah, like, I mean, and I didn't realize it until like much later. Like it's been 15 years. Like what? Like, I mean, I'm not one of those. Well, like if you open a restaurant, right? You maybe a lot of business people they could open restaurant because they will hire people. But us, if somebody gets sick or get called in or whatever, if I only have one cook or whatever, then I could cook.
Mm-hmm.
Or if somebody needed me in another department, I could do whatever they're doing. I could.
So back then, when you had to learn how to cook, you had to learn how to cook out of necessity, not because you wanted to. Did you have a choice on if you wanted to, if you had to cook or not, or was
No,
grandma like,
it's like
you need to cook because this is a necessity?
Well, that's one of the things that as when you a child, like that's what you're expected to do. They teach you.
That's not the case for
Things
a lot of people, Ma.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, in my family, like
it's different from family to family. I mean, like what I'm trying to point out is,
I didn't know.
Not everybody is fortunate enough like myself. See, for me, I cook out of passion. And because I thought it was fun, but for you, you had to. I think correct me if I'm wrong, but what I'm trying to point out is you had a very different childhood from me.
Well, basically, it's like you go. Well,
but correct me if I'm
you
wrong.
have to cook rice.
Yeah, see,
especially you learn how to cook rice.
But that's the difference. See, you have to cook.
5 or 6.
I wanted to cook. Remember?
Cooking for me, like when I was young, is like a chore. Like, basically, I think basic things, not much. I don't remember really cooking that much. I didn't really realize or found out for myself until I got married that I loved cooking, especially for your dad. And, and then I met some friends at the housing, when I was still a dependent wife, staying home raising you guys. That's when I discovered the passion it was for cooking and baking, So I don't only, there's a saying, I think, that it's either you're a cook or you're a baker. You can be both, but I beg to differ.
Yeah, that's true. You do cook and you do bake.
Yes.
So we're going to bring it back to a little bit more about Sassoon Seafood Center. I think a lot of our listeners would like to know more about that.
Really?
Yeah, definitely. Because a lot of our listeners, they're entrepreneurial themselves. So when we opened up Sassoon Seafood Center,
That's mine.
when we opened Sassoon Seafood Center, what was the hardest adjustment from switching from a traditional, like regular family? We all had regular jobs, or you guys had regular jobs. You took care of your kids. Dad was in real estate, and then boom, all of a sudden.
Yes, your dad was a regular. He worked as a nurse.
Yeah, no, but before we opened up Sassoon, he was in real estate, and then all of a sudden, a complete 360-degree change. We're owner-operators of the Sassoon Seafood Center. What was the hardest part for you personally?
The hardest part was I didn't realize that in my mind, it was just going to be one of those mom and pop store. It is, but not as big as this. Like, I thought it was just going to be me and him, operating the store. I mean, of course, we needed some help, of course, not
like the amount of employees that we had, not the amount of customers that we had.
Yeah, customers, but not, we don't, wise that it was going to be bigger than I thought, especially like managing it and doing the work.
What was it like having to employ me, Rachel, and Robin? Was that weird for you that I became your boss?
What? Are you okay?
I'm just kidding. No, seriously. What was it like having to work with your kids?
Oh, I thought I didn't work with you. We just do things together. We're just doing things together. It
Yeah.
wasn't about work.
It didn't feel like we were working together.
No.
It just felt like we were hanging out at the store every day,
Yeah.
7 days a week
Yeah.
for a year straight.
Yeah. Well, no, you didn't. You didn't work 7
Well,
days.
me not personally because I was in college at the time, but Robin and Rachel,
Yeah, even Robin.
they put in more hours for me because they didn't live
well,
away.
Yeah. Robin, but really.
I mean, that's her store right now. Her and Rachel.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, it's
you didn't
hard.
find do you remember? So we were probably like a month or two in,
It was
and
raising.
yeah. But do you remember? So we were all just walking around with our heads chopped off only because we were still figuring it out. But do you remember that one time we were all home? It was rare. It was like after work, we were all tired. Literally, me, you, Rachel, Robin, Dad. We all worked a full day. And then we got into an argument over something. And then you remember, like, I just started crying. And then so did Robin. Do you remember this? I was like upstairs. Because you remember our old house? Like, there's you can talk to the downstairs from the upstairs. But do you remember? We were arguing. And all of a sudden, me, Robin, and Rachel, we just start crying because we were just so frustrated.
Why did we do this?
Yeah.
You guys
Do you remember that?
I don't.
No, I'll never forget that day because at the time it felt so hopeless. And that's like the privilege
Overwhelming.
that I have. And
Overwhelming.
like I didn't have the experience, and looking back, I feel I feel embarrassed.
Nobody.
But just to kind of point that out, it felt it almost felt like, what the hell did our family get into? Because it was so much easier before we opened up the store because, I had my pretty little life where I got to go to parties and just hang out with my friends.
You guys were more.
You guys gave me an allowance. I was having fun at school.
Yeah, the change, I think the big change was like you guys, I think up to this time that's your complaint because we can't do things together anymore. Like we can go.
Oh, yeah. I do
That's
have that
always
complaint.
you
Yeah.
guys, yeah.
Because
After this time you guys are, because
it's-
we used to do, yeah.
Yeah, because it's weird because we're together, but we're not together.
Yeah, we're
and that's because we're when you're at work with your family, you're not really with your family
yes.
because I'm your boss. I have to tell you what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm your boss.
Say that to yourself.
But no. But seriously,
Yeah.
seriously,
Yeah, seriously.
that is
No,
one.
but
That is one thing I do still wish that we would do is we don't
vacation
do anything together anymore,
Yeah.
and it's weird.
We don't talk like, especially.
Oh, yeah.
Wanna,
You hate that the most.
yeah, like there should be a separation.
But there isn't. And I think what we're talking about is when we do get together for like birthdays and holidays, my mom would like to hope that we talk about something else besides work, but it's almost impossible because all we do is work. We don't have much of a life outside of our family businesses.
You don't?
So it's almost impossible. I mean,
Ourselves. You
if you think about it as a whole, me and Carla, we run our own thing, our things. Rachel and Robin, they work just as much as I within that store.
they
So like
work more.
our lives revolve around our businesses. No, they do not.
I'm rolling my eyes.
Yeah, but if you wanna bring that up, we can do it. I'll tell you. But that'll be for a different podcast.
That's what when the family goes, I'm more this, then there's
Yeah, but that's from you and Dad. You guys taught us that to be prideful and to be proud of your work
well,
and to like be better and to fight.
it's not.
That's one thing you and
What?
Dad. That's what you and Dad are. You guys just don't know it, but you guys are fighters. You just don't see it.
Oh yeah. I thought we're fighting.
And you guys,
Yes, we do argue
even if you
a lot.
didn't mean to teach us that, just by your own examples of how to stand up for yourself, you guys taught us that.
Yeah, I never really.
Look at Robin.
I don't think we talk about like, you have to.
She's so fierce, and she's just like Dad. Where if one, how like a lion is like gonna protect their cubs. If there's just one sign of attack, she's just gonna fucking kill you, dude. That's just like Dad. Do you remember that one time we were having a birthday on? Do you remember that one time? Why are you going like this, Mom? What is
Why
this?
are we
mean?
talking about that? I don't know about that. What is that?
There's no hold bar on this podcast. We talk about everything. So my mom doesn't want me to say something, but I'm going to say it. Do you remember that one time when there was a birthday party and it was a family birthday party. It was on the military base. And then we were having a party under the awning. And it's understood that if you were going to have a party you have to let the city know. You have to rent it.
Where at?
This is on Orion Park in San Jose. Dad's old base that closed down. So there was a party. There was a kids party.
Behind the fence, right?
Yeah.
In the back?
Do you remember there was another dude there and he was like, hey, we have reservations for this thing.
Oh, did they?
Do you remember that?
Is it like the neighbor's birthday?
I don't remember.
The boys?
I think so, but it was my earliest memory of seeing Dad just shut shit down because the dude was being really mad. The dude was being really mean to Dad.
See, you guys, you remember.
Oh, yeah. Because that was the first time I ever heard Dad cuss.
Yeah.
And he was literally about to tear that dude up. He won.
Yeah.
He won.
Yeah.
We didn't have to move.
Your dad is. I'm more of the.
That's the one thing I admire most about
keeper.
Dad.
I always want everything.
Yeah, I get that from you and me too. Confrontation is not really good with me, but Dad and Rachel.
Yeah.
I mean, well, Rachel too. Dad and Robin, they really just they go for it. They go for the neck. It's crazy. I wish I had that, honestly.
Robin is.
Oh no. Have you've missed a lot of stuff. Like if it comes to like that line between good and bad, the moment someone passes that bad line, Robin's gonna go for you and she's gonna kill you, because Robin's very just. Robin's very just.
Oh my gosh.
There's no middle. It's either you're good or you're bad, and if you cross that bad line, good luck.
That's the thing.
Good luck. You're done. So
that's the thing that both of us we never. That's the one. I've been hopefully without. I'm not really sure if I say it enough or I even say it, but I always given that what we do now is, I always want you to know that you guys are no better than anybody.
What?
Always.
I don't think that.
I'm saying that, sometimes, I mean, I know that you guys are not.
Well, then it worked. Well, then it worked because I never feel that way.
If I did my job as a parent,
Well, you did, because I don't feel that way.
And but I'm just saying.
I can tell you, me, Robin, Rachel, we don't feel that way either.
Yeah, but the thing is, it's everybody. You guys work hard, and we all have to. Up to this time, whatever you do right now, it's always a work in progress. Everything is. You could
agree.
Never. What's the word that I like? You're complacent. You can't, because it's.
No, I agree what you're saying though. I know I know I fuck around a lot with you and I pretend, but we're just playing. But seriously, I'm letting you know now, if that was your job, if that was your goal, then you did a good job, because I never feel like I'm better than anyone. Truly, I don't feel that way. I never want to be like that.
It just it's. Yeah.
Well, then you did a good job. Right there. Put it right there, bro. You did it. Oh, since we're talking about that, Mom, as you know, I am going to be a dad in July. I'm going to be a dad in July. I'm so excited. Do you have any tips for me on how to be an amazing parent like how you and Dad were?
Well, just be yourself.
Oh, yeah, that's it.
If you learn anything from your mom and dad, just drop the bad and take the good. That's all I could tell you.
That's good advice.
I mean, being a parent is, you can never, whatever I did, I'm not sure, because I'm not sure you're going to do it, because you're too opinionated.
Well,
whatever. I mean, hopefully your opinions are good, but
I try to mold them to the best I can, but
just enjoy and be the best person you could be to another person.
I know, right? Mm-hmm. I'm going to be taking care of a little child.
Yeah.
They're going to be responsible. Or I'm going to be responsible for a baby. It's weird.
Well, a lot of work. It's being a parent is hard. You never stop really being a parent.
Was I an accident?
No, you were never. Nobody is an accident.
No.
Because,
You know what I'm asking you.
No, listen. Robin always say that you're an accident. I wanted to have kids more than a husband.
Did you
First.
Did you trap dad?
No, I did not. I did not. It wasn't a.
So I wasn't an
Gunshot.
accident. You're telling me you and dad were like, oh, okay, we're having baby right now. Let's do this.
No, it wasn't.
I was unplanned.
Yeah, it wasn't like, it wasn't
I was
even
unplanned.
Robin or whatever. It happened.
Was
Well,
Robin
It wasn't.
was Robin unplanned?
You weren't planned.
Was Robin planned?
The two of you weren't planned. But
Rachel
I'm-
Rachel was planned.
what I'm saying, she wasn't planned.
Damn, y'all just had kids.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So that's how it was back in the day.
Yeah.
It was just, we're gonna have kids. We're gonna have kids.
I just no, but for me, I at least now I know that because it was kind of struggle for me because I was in school, I was taking nursing too, and then I was in college, but really I was still looking for myself or what was I gonna be when I grew up. But I at least one thing I know is I want to have kids right away, like when I was young, not later.
What is the difference between 36-year-old Rosario Canlis and who you are now?
36, I'm not 36, I'm 60.
No. What is the difference between
What's the 36?
no? What is the difference between who you are now compared to who Rosario Canlis was at the age of 36? Because I'm 36 now.
Oh,
So what's the difference? When you were 36, we were here.
36, 30. So when we moved here, because I was done with babies when I was
Yeah.
30. So
So try to think
that
back.
was in 91, right? 92, 96. How old were you in 96?
96. In 96, I
You were born
was
in
10. I was 10 in 96. I was 10 years
And
old.
so I was, I'm now 60. So when I was 36, it was, what year was that? Gosh, I don't know. The difference is,
It was 1998. 1998. 4 years we've been living in Sassoon already.
that also, 98 was when your dad retired from the Navy.
Okay. Now think back to who you were then and who you are now. What's the biggest difference?
What's the biggest difference? Yeah, well, the biggest difference is you guys are now grown up. And
No, you personally, though, you.
Well, personally, what's the biggest difference? Back then, I was still raising you guys. If you were 10, back then, you were 10.
I was 10.
I was still a struggling mother, making ends meet and working, but I think I'm still
You know what?
the same and not,
You
the
know-
way I look at life. I mean, everything that we do now is just a job for me.
So let me point this out. That's
I don't know if that answers you.
no, it does. It actually
There's no,
no, it answers a lot, Mom. So
like, my being or whatever. It's still
that's the most beautiful.
the same.
That's the most beautiful answer that I've heard, because what that means to me and like what the thoughts I come to my head as you answer is you and Dad have done such a great job because you had no time to think about yourself at 36.
No.
And look at me, I'm 36 and all I think about is like, who I am, what I want to be. I can focus. I can focus on myself. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What I'm trying to point out is you did your job.
I think most parents, I think are generation was never, not solely me
Exactly.
in particular. It was more of everyone, especially with us Filipinos. It's always like
For your
for your
kids.
family,
Yeah.
for your kids. And it's always about providing. And sometimes you forget that. But no, I never forget about that. Like being with you guys and, that I chose to be.
No,
Yeah.
I think about that a lot, Mom, and I talk about that on my podcast so much. Is the sacrifice that you and Dad made for this family
It wasn't,
is which is
it
why
wasn't a,
yeah it
sacrifice.
was no yes it was you
wasn't
won't
like,
say it, you don't see it that way because you can't,
You
but
know.
you made such a big sacrifice that I feel like I don't want to waste the things you guys did for us. So you just said you appreciated Dad's drive and envy. I mean, drive and just ambition.
Ambition.
I think that's something
ambitious,
that's
yeah.
very, very apparent in Dad. I think that's his best trait. Where do you think that comes from? How I've never seen a
that
more
wa-
ambitious and
yeah.
hardworking
I
man.
think
Where does that come
came
from?
his background of, being poor and
Like
not
dirt
having.
poor, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I think for him that I was lucky enough that, I mean, even we were poor, it was always like, your grandma, you should be happy to whatever you have. So I'm like that person who, I'm not. Sometimes I think I blame my mom for like what I want to do, or she never to be this way, that way, or to be ambitious or something to go for what you want. I was always satisfied. I was content.